Pantoufleee! Hello everyone, Pantoufleee here today for a new video, and as you may or may not know, Black Friday is here, but I think you guessed it for the past couple of days. And probably you saw that Wargaming offers a discount, especially during from November 28th to December 2, on something very special, the permanent enrichment on Tier 5 to Tier 8 vehicles. And I thought maybe it's the good time of the year to give you an overall view on all the tanks I think, in my opinion, that are worth enriching. So we're gonna make it quick. I don't want this video to be too long. I'm just gonna show you my tech tree and explain to you which tanks is worth enriching and why. And we're gonna start with the American tanks. So first I'm gonna start with the tanks I already enriched. So the first one is the M41 Bulldog. Why would you want to upgrade this tank? I know there is Dracula and stuff, but for everyone not having the Dracula, the M41 Bulldog is a pretty good alternative, even if the LTTB is better in terms of speed. But what I love about the M41 Bulldog is the mobility and the crazy gun. Not the one, not this one. This one sucks a bit because the autoloader is not very suitable on the M41 Bulldog. You would rather go for this one, which has a better rate of fire and allows you to switch more easily on every type of shells as well. But yeah, it's a great tank, great mobility, great gun, and you're gonna have fun in tier 7 dodging all the bullets and circling pretty much everything. That's why I went for this one first. After also, the T49, I'm not gonna say it's worth it to enrich it, because even if you enrich it, you're still gonna not make a lot of money, because this tank is pretty expensive to play, because as you may or may not know, for those of you who don't have the T49, it has only two type of shells. I'm gonna show you real quick what I'm talking about. But this tank only carries two type of ammunition, the heat and the high explosive, but different. That's some kind of hash, and these one are pretty expensive. So if you manage to penetrate the target each time you shoot with these special HEs, no problem, you're gonna make money. But if you miss, or if you don't manage to penetrate and do only 200 to 300 damage, you are not gonna make enough profit. I only enriched the T49 just because I was bored of not making credits with it. But yeah, it's still a pretty good tank. If you manage to carry all the games you're playing with the T49, it's not going to be a problem for you to enrich it and to make credit. So that's a pretty good alternative to any kind of tanks at this tier, because the T49 is really fun to play. And for the final one on the American, I would say the Pershing, but let me finish. I know a lot of people don't like the Pershing. I would say Pershing only if you're a Unicam or a Super Unicam player. But I'm not gonna really bother about the Pershing, because all the Super Unicam players knows what they know what I'm talking about when we talk about the Pershing. If you talk about the Pershing with a Super Unicam, they are pretty much always, all the time, tell you that the Pershing is a really nice tank. I should buy it back, by the way, or maybe I have it in my... No, I'm gonna buy it back after. But anyway, yeah, the Pershing for the turret and the gun depression and the mobility, I would definitely say it's worth it. Now, let's talk about the German tech tree, and it's the one we are gonna spend more time with. So, the first one, obviously, the Panther 2, I already talked about it in the video. It has a great gun, it has a really great mobility, and a good armor if you manage to hide the lower part of the hull. If you only show your castmate, that's gonna be great. You're gonna have very great games. So yeah, the Panther. The second one is the RHM. Why the RHM? Just because of the camo and the gun. I think that having such kind of a tank with this special camo at tier 8 is a great value, because you're not gonna get spotted even if you shoot. Really, that's a great tank, and I was doing pretty well in it, so I guess maybe it's time for me to enrich it. So yeah, honestly, the RHM is a hell of a tank. You're gonna have a great gun, maybe not the best mobility, but at least you're gonna have the best camo at tier 8, and it's something you can really work with and get away, especially for not necessarily campers, but yeah, I would definitely recommend this tank to campers who are spotted anytime when they take usually when they take the regular RTD positions, even if you're not spotted, be careful with the RHM, because if people blind you, they are definitely not gonna bounce. So yeah, the RHM for me is worth it. After, we can also talk about the Panther. Why the Panther? Because the gameplay is original. I mean, you have a tier 7 tank that has a good armor, that you can really sustain some shots with it, especially in the gun mantlet, but what makes it great, in my opinion, and that's the same as the M41 Bulldog, it's the gun and the rate of fire. I mean, with this tank, you're never gonna get bored because of your reload, because it's only about less than 4 seconds. So it's like driving an E25. It's not as an E25, but it will give you the feeling of an E25 having a turret. You compensate the lack of reload time by a turret, which is nice in my opinion. Next, of course, the classic Tiger 1 and Tiger P, depending on your playstyle, either if you would sacrifice mobility over armor or armor over mobility. But I think this tank, you already know what I'm talking about. The Tiger 1 has a great gun, it has a cool mobility, you can still bounce things if you allow yourself to only show your turret, and the Tiger P, it's the same as the Tiger 1, but with less mobility and a better armor. Next, the RU251. It's a pretty good alternative for everyone who doesn't have the, how is it called, the M41 Bulldog, the premium, because it's exactly the same tank. Maybe the only difference between both of these tanks is that the M41 90mm Bulldog is gonna have a better reload time, I think, and I'm not even sure about what I'm saying. No, you know what? I think the reload time are both similar on these tanks. Yeah, it's 4.9, so no, never mind. The only difference is that the RU will make less money, because of course, when you enrich a tank, and remind this, when you enrich a tank, guys, you can't make more money than the one you do with the premium tank, because you will always have credit coefficient, which is less important on enriched tanks. So, concerning all of these, and now we can also talk about the Tiger 2, because with the buff, this tank became really a great tank, a really nice tank. If you know how to play it correctly, always, don't try to angle this tank, always stay in front of your opponents, and when you know some tanks in front of you have a good penetration, try to hide your turret or only show your hull. That's a really great trick if you manage to do that, because honestly, this is a beast. That's all I have to say. It's a beast, and I'm saying too much the word honestly, so I'm gonna try not to tell it before the end of the video. I think I'm gonna lose the challenge, but anyway. So, concerning the German Tech 3, we can also finish with last one, the Leopard, the tier 5. I know it's a seal clubbing tank. But still, it's really fun to play. It's really fun because you are gonna get... you are gonna destroy, sorry, all the noobs at tier 5. It's really for seal clubbing only, because the gun is pretty much a great one. Why is it not full? What is the difference? Yeah, maybe I should have gone for this one. Oh yeah, because I bought it back, but I didn't fully equip it. So yeah, the Leopard, just for seal clubbing. If you enjoy seal clubbing, go ahead. But yeah, that's not a good thing to do. And of course, I'm gonna finish with the last one, the Panther 4. This one is a hell of a tank as well, because you have a crazy gun, and it had been buffed recently. No, not recently. It was maybe 5 updates ago, but it's deadly now, because with the low profile you have a great camo, and the tier 7 guns with 4 seconds of reload time, which makes it one of the best DPM at tier 6, and a hell of a tank. Now, let's talk about the Russian Tech 3. So, as you can see, I'm gonna start with the first one I enriched, the MT25. It depends on your playstyle. What I love about the MT25 is the gun, because in 10 seconds you are gonna reload something that puts 400 damage to your opponents if you manage to put all your shells. And the reload between both the 4 shells is only 0.7 seconds, so you're gonna be able to fire quickly, and that's what I love about the MT25, because you have the mobility, you still have armor. I mean, no, you're not gonna bounce a lot of things, but sometimes you can have crazy troll armor that will allow you to bounce IS shells, etc., which is nice. And of course, this gun, you may lack a bit of penetration, but you are going to compensate with the fact that you are you have an amazing reload and an amazing mobility. So I definitely recommend this one if it fits your playstyle only. If you don't like light tanks, don't go for it. Then the LTTB. Why the LTTB? Because it's the best alternative to the Dracula. You have the same speed. Maybe the only difference between both of these tanks is that the LTTB have less depression, gun depression than the Dracula, which makes it more uncomfortable to play, but it's still a very nice tank you will have fun with. Talking about alternatives, I also want to talk about the T43, which is the alternative for the Rudy, because both of the tanks have pretty much the same reload. Maybe the Rudy is a bit better, and the Rudy is better overall, I gotta say, but still, the T43 is gonna do the job, because they are quite similar. Let's say it's a Rudy, it's a downgrade Rudy, but it's still very effective on the battlefield and one of my favorite tier 7 of all time. Next, let's talk about, of course, both of these tanks, the SU-152 and the ISU-152. So the ISU-152, it's just because you like one-shotting tanks at tier 7. Let's be honest. Always play it with the first gun, by the way. Don't take these ones sucks. You don't want to play them. And of course the ISU because of the gun as well. So yeah, pretty much that's all that matters. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna research this. Yeah, I'm gonna do that right now. So yeah. No, give me back my... Okay, so you know, you already know why I talked about the SU and the ISU-152, though, so we're not gonna lose too much time here. Let's go for the English tech tree. So, British tech tree, I'm sorry. Sorry if I pissed off some of you. So, concerning the English... the British tech tree, let's not talk about the chariot here. It was great before, now it's average, it's still fine, but yeah, it's not worth enriching. I enriched it when it was OP because I wanted to have fun for 2 updates, but now that it's over, I'm not gonna talk about it or even play it again, so we don't care. We are gonna focus on tanks that didn't change and still are great. I'm gonna first start with the Crusader. So, why would you want to update the Crusader? Because as well as the Leopard we talked previously, the Crusader is a great skill clubbing tank because of the reload time. You have, sorry, I didn't put the right gun. The gun is compatible. Let me show you how it goes. Yeah, so I was telling you the reload time is great. You have 3.4 seconds of reload, which makes it one of the best DPM at tier 5. And of course, what matters at tier 5 is not the armor, it's only the DPM if you want to seal club. So that's a great seal clubbing tank that I definitely recommend to people wanting to seal club, even if I don't recommend to seal club. But I know I need to clarify. I need to clarify myself. I don't seal club, but if I had to seal club, I would play Leo or Crusader. So next, let's talk about the comets. So I think you all know what this tank is all about. Great gun depression, great gun, great DPM, great mobility. You are still able to bounce a couple of shots if they shoot through your gun handling, your gun mantlets. So it's really worth it to enrich it. That's why I enriched it here, for example. And yeah, look at that, 3.4 seconds of reload for an average 160 alpha damage. That makes it one of the best DPM at tier 7. Next, of course, the Black Prince. It's globally it's the same as the characteristics we talked about for the Cromwell. The main difference between both of the tanks is that the Comet has mobility because it's a medium and it doesn't have armor, and the Black Prince doesn't have a great mobility but has a lot of armor. This is a hell of a tank. If you want to enrich it, you're gonna have fun. Because of course the Black Prince, since the buff, is crazy. Really, it's a crazy tank, and you have to keep in mind something. Not a lot of people are playing the Black Prince, which means not a lot of people are able to fight the Black Prince, because the more you see a tank, the better you know how to penetrate it, the better you know how to confront it. But the Black Prince, as nearly nobody is playing it, you will see that a lot of people will struggle to penetrate you, which makes it even more deadly, because you're gonna keep your HPs, see your enemies bounce on you, and be able to just wreck the shit out of them because of your crazy gun, which has a 3.1 seconds of reload. It's the same gun as the Comet, but you have 0.3 seconds less of reload, which makes it crazy. So, next, the Japan Tech Tree. You don't want to enrich anything here. Chinese, globally, it's the same. You don't want to enrich anything. Maybe if you want the Type 58, but if you want to go for that, go for the T-3485. It's a better alternative because it will be close to the T-3485 Victory, which is a crazy tank. Concerning the France Tech Tree, maybe the AMX-ELC Best is the only tank I would enrich, and just because it's funny. Honestly, this tank doesn't have a really great things about it. It's just that it's really mobile, it has a funny gun, and of course it's the low profile that makes everything, because you can be stuck against for example, a KV2. You will be able to shoot at him, but he will not be able to because he doesn't have enough gun depression. But that's all. Honestly, that's just for fun. And for the European aka Italian tanks, I would say nothing is worth it. So, I think we made, I think we talked about all the tanks we had to talk about here. So, thank you all for watching. You know what? Tell me in the comments, what do you think are the tanks worth enriching? And when I say worth enriching, I'm not saying, because I know I'm gonna get trolled by comments saying, yeah, no tanks is worth enriching as you have premiums, etc. I totally agree with you, but enriching a tank is just showing this tank that you love to play it. I know I'm enriching the tanks that I'm playing a lot, exception for the Comet, but Comet is because it's symbolic to me. But yeah, I would like to know, what do you think, which tanks in your opinion are enrichable and are worth enriching? Tell me in the comments. I hope this video helped you in case you're struggling either or not to enrich some kinds of tanks. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget, you're not here to be better, but to be the best. Pantoufleee, over.